Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Did You Know page. I really want to offer you a big I'm sorry because last vlog I told you that I wanted to introduce my kids to you, and of course I introduced you to Jeremy and then Cody, but I have one more, and it's Kristen, and she's decided to skip the camera today, so we'll catch up with her later and I'll introduce you to her at another time. With that being said, we are in celebration mode at the Reeves home. Randall and I are celebrating 28 years of marriage. We are so excited to have a little date and spend some time together and just enjoy each other's company. And I hope this week, if you're not celebrating your anniversary, or if your anniversary is a long way off, be sure to remember to date your husband. Remember that God's given you such a blessing, and even if your marriage is not great right now, sometimes just taking the time to go on a date can sometimes open that communication and open that avenue for you to discuss some things that may not be great. I would love to share some things later with you about marriage and about things that our marriage has gone through. We have not always had a great marriage. It's not always been easy, and it's not always been the way it is now. And that was because I chose to do things my way, and I chose to be about me in my marriage, and I chose to make things about me. And it was at that moment in our marriage when it almost fell apart, and I mean a day away from a lawyer's office, people. I'm talking about, girls, it was bad. And it was at that moment that I realized that my relationship with Jesus was not where it needed to be. And that is sometimes looked over, I think, sometimes with our marriages. And I'd hope today that if your marriage is struggling and you're fighting for survival, that you'll turn your heart to Jesus, because he's the only one that can make it great and make it what he intended it to be. So don't just make it about a date. Find the root of where your marriage is. How come it's not great? Because, dates don't fix things. They don't fix everything. But it is an opportunity for you to talk to each other and find out, what is it that's keeping you from having the marriage that God intended? Our culture has taught us that marriage is just superficial, that if you don't like one, you just move to the next one. And I'm here to tell you, we're all the same. We all have our flaws and we all have our problems. So the next person is not going to be void of problems or things that you dislike. The thing that we have to focus on is the fact that Jesus is the only one that can take care of our flaws, and he's the only one that can make us the woman that he would have us to be for our husbands. So if you're here listening to this and watching it, I hope that you don't see a person that says, oh, she's got it all together and her marriage is so great because it's so great because of what they have or where they go or what they do. It's not that at all. The only reason that we have what we have is because of Jesus and because he's first in our lives. Now look here, we're sinners and we fall, and sometimes I spout off, and sometimes I get wired up, and sometimes I act like a crazy nut. But it's those times that Randall is so gracious to me and so kind and so loving, and he allows me that moment so that later on I can come back and say, you know what, babe, I'm really sorry. I acted like a crazy nut. Please forgive me. And he comes back because he loves Jesus, and he says, don't worry about it. It's all good. We just had a moment. We just had a time. So ladies, let me just say this. If you are married and you are struggling, God's word is the key to fixing those things in your life. But I also would like to offer you the opportunity to email me. Maybe you have a specific problem that you don't have an answer to. Maybe you want to know more about Jesus. Maybe you want to know exactly how Jesus changed me and changed our marriage. And hopefully you'll see as you follow this vlog that we are real people with real problems, with real lives, and that we struggle and fight and battle within ourselves to have what God intended for us to have. But you know what? That's the thing. We fight and we battle for it. We don't just passively let days go by with not speaking or with allowing other things in our lives to get in front of our spouses, but more importantly, things that try to get in front of our relationship with Jesus. Look, if Jesus is first in your life and Jesus is first in your husband's life, things are going to work so differently than if he's not. So I hope that if you have any questions or if I can be help to you in any way, that you'll email me. Give me a chance. We give a lot of other people chances with our marriages, whether it's books or different talk show hosts or even our friends that give us advice and we try it and it fails, or our marriages are just mundane. I'm just hoping that you'll give me a chance to give you some encouragement privately, because of course I can't touch on all this on a vlog, but I would love to be a source for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out. No problem or issue is too big or too small. Not that I know all the answers, not that I have it all together, but I can tell you this: I know that Jesus has the answers, and I know that as we dive into his word, that he'll give you some avenues to make changes in your marriage. And if your marriage is great, hey, don't forget to date your spouse. Don't forget to take your husband on a date. You plan the date. Plan something fun. Enjoy his company and let him know that you think about him during the day. Such a great opportunity for you to share your lives together by spending time together. Sometimes we wind up being business partners and daycare workers. Hey, don't let that happen. Life's too short for that. Date your husband. He'll appreciate it, and your marriage will thrive from it. See you soon. Thanks for being with me. Email me. I would love that.